start once these screens go. And from what I'm seeing here is we are going to be starting on the start screen, but shops have been shuffled. So that is a good thing here. So not guaranteed a wood sword at start. Ooh, we have got second quest overworld at least, or we have a mixed quest overworld. You can tell that because level 3 it was not its normal level 3. It was the other thing. Also, we've got level 5 here listed, and based on the location, we have got dungeon shapes. So we've got that's what it looks like to me anyway, because level 5 only has 2 things starting. So we've got dungeon shapes here.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm synced up.
Yeah, so the other thing to take a note here is, as you can see over on Drakhatos' side, the Triforce is in its normal room, so that's good for them. They know they don't have to kill anything to get Triforce. Also, a thing to note here. Okay, you saw that Moblin said, "Pay me for the door repair charge." Okay, and now you can see both. This is deceptive hints, because you're only going to see pay me for the door repair charge if it's normal hints or if it's deceptive hints. So our runners are going to have to be very, very careful now, because these are deceptive hints. 50% of the time they're telling you the truth. 50% of the time they are lying to you.
Okay. I think I'm more caught up. Did we just get the Triforce on the left side there?
Yeah, Drakhatos did.
I'm still a few seconds
No,
behind.
Drakhatos did just go ahead and pick up the Triforce, and we also saw it appears that secrets are not shuffled price-wise, because we just saw a 30 secret on Ziegman's side.
Yeah, I just saw both of them picking up secrets at the same time. Set. I'm at 2.
It's right around the 252 mark. Around the 252 mark, you see, you see Drakhatos now entering level 5 without being able to screen scroll right there, because the only way you can unlock it is either with a key or by screen scrolling. He's not going to be able to get into level 5. The reason Ziegman had it out was, of course, because he was able to screen scroll in and do the unlocking trick. Now you're seeing a hint there that says meet the mob when close to start. Again, deceptive hints. We don't know if that's true or not. We have to take care of that. Also, you see there, we see the 60 rupee candle. It looks to me, and it is confirmed here, that shop prices are not shuffled. Yep, and as it's being pointed out in chat, the candle shop there does have the expensive shield, and it unfortunately for us, or for them, was the expensive shield, so no boomstick. Ziegman, however, does have enough rupees to pick up the candle there, which is nice for him, because that's going to give him at least some way to burn things, and to go ahead and start killing things, potentially getting bombs. The next thing coming up here, as you can see, is we've got shuffle to any roads. They are not very good. They're all stuck on the eastern half of Hyrule here, so we don't have an easy way to access Death Mountain. Not that either runner is going to want to access Death Mountain at this current moment, but Shuffle Any Roads, not necessarily the best thing in the world, especially all things considered. They're not in very good locations. We've got Ziegman here opting to go through Candle Row and finding level 9, which is good for him. Knowing where level 9 is always a good thing. Of course, the sad part is we're still about 8 Triforce pieces away from level 9. All right, so for those of you who have never seen the second quest overworld, it is a very interesting setup here. There are a lot more burnable bushes and a lot more locations that are power bracelet and whistle required. Ziegman getting himself into the Lost Hills, and it looked like he's going to go. Nope, going to check the waterfall first before heading up above it.
So take any. And he takes the heart.
And interesting thing about taking the heart there is because he already purchased the candle, he is able to take the heart there without problem. Now, the other thing you might have noticed there is you saw as he used the candle to attempt to kill the Tektites, they didn't die in the one candle blast like they do. So we've got shuffled enemy HP, and we have got a wood sword sighting. The interesting part about that is, if you remember correctly, Ziegman saw the stairs underneath that Armos and walked away from it, didn't actually go into it. And another interesting fact that just came out, as you saw, Drakhatos there killing the Tektite and getting bombs. So that's another interesting new flag option we have here, is drop groups being shuffled. So now we're not quite sure what's going to drop things, but Tektites we know are an overworld bomb dropper. So now we have gone ahead on Drakhatos' side and acquired the letter. That's going to be something that they're going to be potentially needing, because it's going to allow them to purchase the potion when they come across it. And Zergman has come across level 2, which is going to be nice for him, hopefully, because drops here are going to be, again, in theory, nice to find. Good news for him, early Triforce. Bad news for him, no key. So if he wants to get into this, he's going to have to use some tricks. Unfortunately, he cannot unlock the right-hand side door. He can only unlock the left-hand side door. Now, Drakhatos is now making his way up to the waterfall. No, you're absolutely correct, Random. I forgot the way that screen worked. Not able to unlock the left-hand door the way that screen works. Drakhatos there, as we mentioned earlier, he has found the take anyone you want that was up at the waterfall. And because he hadn't purchased a candle yet, he's going to go ahead and do that. looks like we're trying to set up for a screen wrap here. And Drakhatos does get it, not a problem. And he's going to be going back into level 1. And I actually like this call here because going back into level 1, he's already found the Triforce, but now with the capability of picking up with the sword, he can kill things, and now has the option of getting through level 1, picking up some keys perhaps, and more importantly, picking up both items.
And he picks up a heart container. Now, that could just be the dungeon heart container, or it could be the one that's normally on the coast, because level 1 does have an item on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Levels 1 and 2 are going to have items on the ground. And we know it wasn't the heart container on the coast, so we know it's going to be shuffled somewhere into the remaining dungeon options. And the other thing to point out is Chad has it absolutely correct here. With this being second quest overworld, there's only one large secret in the entire thing. You're only going to get one 100 secret. So money is going to be extremely tight. So Drakhatos there picking up the candle as opposed to spending 60 rupees could be just a way of saving money in a sea that's going to be money tight just based on the nature of secrets. And Dodongo being a troll. So we have a note there. As you can see, for Drakhatos, the ropes have got 0 HP, which allows them to be killed via the boomerang. That's normally a mechanic you see with Keese and with the gels, but with this seed and random HP, it allows us to kill some ropes as well. And white sword.
Also, white sword. Yes. And both runners are now in level 1.
Yeah, the interesting part here for Zergman is going to be his candle can kill these Keese. So if he goes through and kills them all, he's going to be rewarded with the white sword. And that's definitely something I would be doing here, especially swordless at 12.5 minutes. In a dungeon like this where I know there's a potential floor drop item, I would be killing those Keese here.
But it looks like he's going to leave.
I can also understand the leaving portion of it, simply because, only having a candle, if you're not super confident with your combat, it's a thing. But a room like that with Keese, I would be testing the waters to see, of course, what their HP is. And then, I can kill them with the candle. I'm going to kill them just to see what happens. All right, Drakhatos now opting to utilize the one key that he has to continue his way through level 5, and he's going to get his second manhandle of Threatens hint, which now is going to confirm to him, oh crap, I'm in Deceptive Hints.
And the white sword item is the red candle.
Nothing wrong with the white sword item being the red candle, and it's going to actually give Zergman now a way to efficiently kill enemies because he's going to be able to use more than one candle flame in a room. So at this point, especially with red candle, he's probably considering going back to level 1 after he's done his little trip here through the Dead Woods. I would be heavily considering it.
Great. Meanwhile, over on Drakhatos' side, we have level 6.
Now, the one thing I do want to point out here is even if we didn't have the call signs up in the top telling us the levels, we would be easily able to tell what level was what because dungeon palettes have not been shuffled. So level 6 is still its level 6 color. Level 1 was still its level 1 color. All of that. The other thing it seems to me is we saw Gorillaz in level 1. We're seeing Wizrobes in level 6. It looks as if dungeon enemy groups have also not been shuffled. So we're going to see level 1, level 2, and level 7. Those are going to have the Gorilla set. Level 3, level 5, and level 8 are going to have the Dark Nut set. Levels 4, 6, and 9 are going to have the Wizrobe sets. And I 100 agree with Zergman here. I've only got the red candle. I can't do a whole lot in a Wizrobe dungeon. Let's piece the heck on up out of here. Also, a nice thing of note here over on Drakhatos' side, we don't have super powerful red Wizrobes. They are either 3 or 4 HP because they are dying in 2 slashes of the white sword. This room, however...
Yes, with that many blue Wizrobes, it was tough to tell how many hits each one was taking, but it looked like a lot.
Best advice I can give when it comes to fighting rooms of 6 blue Wizrobes, don't unless you have to. Drakhatos now opting to up A his way out of a manhandler, which is not a bad call, all things considered. I mean, he doesn't have any bombs to really quick kill the manhandler, so that's definitely an interesting and the right call. And now it's going to be fun to see, where he chooses to go from here. As unfortunately for Zergman, he's going to spin around in a circle and die yet again. So the unfortunate overworld combat scenarios not helping right now. And that staircase that Drakhatos took, looking like it's a good choice because it's going to leave him pretty well close to the Triforce he's looking to get. And hey, that red Wizrobe giving him a fairy drop. The stair spinning him out with a key, so this is going to be a pretty good 6 for him, all things considered. I like the call of looking around real quick to see if we can come up with the item, because we now know because of the white sword. And hey, look, there's going to be more than likely the item unless this is a segmented 6.
It is the item, and it is the power bracelet.
Now, the power bracelet is a great find, especially in Second Quest Overworld, because in addition to the 4 normal Overworld spots that have the power bracelet needed, there are several others here in Second Quest that could potentially hold dungeons. There is the Lost Hills screen that is directly south of level 5 that has one. There is the Far Eastern screen in Death Mountain that has one. And there is B2, which is in the second row on the bottom, that also has one. So the power bracelet, definitely a good find in a Second Quest Overworld.
And that's another death for Zugman.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he keeps walking by the wood sword location, which I think at this point means he thinks he's checked it, because he definitely went ahead and saw that it was a staircase there underneath the Armoses.
On Drakhatos' side, we've confirmed that it was a 5-heart red candle because he just tried to pick it up with 4 and could not. And now he'll get that 5th heart, and if he wants it, could go right back for the red candle, but it looks like that's not really a priority.
Yeah, the thing with the red candle is at this point where Drakhatos is, I mean, he's got bombs, he's got white sword, he's got the blue candle. Red candle really isn't necessarily something that you necessarily need. Given it would be the white sword, and if I found it, I would absolutely take it, but I'm not going to go back and get it. It's not a super high priority when it comes to, already having weaponry. If I was in Zergman's location where I didn't have it, or didn't have a sword, I would absolutely be going back for the red candle because it would be giving me a way to consistently deal damage to enemies. Now we've also we've only found a couple levels here. We found levels 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9. So 3, 4, 7, and 8 are still somewhere mysteriously missing. And we've done a fair bit of exploring in Hyrule. So it's looking as if Recorder and Power Bracelet are going to be options here. It's also looking as if potentially Death Mountain's going to hold a lot of them because that's really one of the few places that hasn't been touched yet. Speaking of that, we do have Ziegman going off to Death Mountain right now. I'm not sure I like this call. What's your thoughts on going to Death Mountain with no sword and 4 bombs?
And it appears Drakhatos has found level 7.
And with the level 7 location being where it is, that confirmed the power bracelet that Drakhatos found in level 6 is indeed required. So then, just another one of the fun things, and that's not even a second quest power bracelet location, that's a first quest power bracelet location. Now, the interesting thing I would like to point out of the staircase you see Drakhatos going through right now, and the location is almost going to pretty much confirm it. 9 out of 10 times when you find a staircase that early on in a dungeon, it tells you that the dungeon is most likely segmented. Based on the location where Drakhatos just ended up, if we find the map, I would be willing to bet that 7 is segmented, but not, I'm not going to put a whole lot of money on it, but this feels like a segmented level 7. Ziegman now, he was stopping to take a look at things as he picked up that 10 rupee. He was definitely thinking about what's going on and what he's missed because it appears in his mind he's checked all of the open caves or most of the open caves. He's definitely has to be wondering, what did I miss? What's going on here? At this point, it looks like he's heading off towards the coast, which will allow us to take another look at what the coast item is, which is good because, we're blind and we missed it and we're crazy. Yeah, with the coast item, I've seen chat saying recorder. I've heard people say magic key. So I'm just going to reserve judgment until we take a peek, sees at what it is, and then we'll be good. Yeah, finding out that the Coast Cave was just unfortunately a door repair charge, and now getting himself all turned around trying to think of where do I have to go, what do I have to do, what did I miss? Also, another thing to take a look at here, bomb upgrades, not shuffled. The bait is still in level 7. The price from bomb upgrades not shuffled, and the number of that you're going to get from bomb upgrades not shuffled. However, based on the location, we might have a bait block.
Well, he came from the north, didn't he? So that's... It isn't really a bait block, because you can get behind it through other methods.
In theory, yes, it's going to depend on if there are doors open there or if there are, if you can't bomb. So, oh, he walked through the bait? Okay, so never mind, not a bait block. Never mind. I didn't see that. I was too busy watching Zygmunt try and figure out what he's missed. But I think at this point, what Zygmunt looks like he's going to take care of this, and then with the red candle and it being a Gorilla dungeon, level 1 is severely on the table right now, which is probably a good idea. But I'm not sitting in his shoes, so I can't say yay or nay. But at this point, 27 minutes in, not having a sword, but having the red candle, knowing that level 1 is a Gorilla dungeon, I would definitely have dealt at that point. And what you see Drakhatos going through here, this is the fun part about shapes, because you never know where there's going to be a room. So if you can run into a block, you have to bomb sort of everywhere to figure it out. So there could be locations where you're playing one of Hyrule's favorite games, which of course is Find the Bomb Hole, and it can be very frustrating at times.
And that's yet another death for Zygmunt. It clearly appears that he is just focusing on finding the wood sword, and meanwhile Drakhatos finds the raft, another of the potentially required items.
Yeah, again, not the best thing to find, but you're happy to have it in case, of course, it's needed to get to any of the 2 levels, because raft spots, there are only 2 of them in either quest, and they could potentially house something. But with that, Drakhatos is going to go ahead and pick up his 3rd Triforce in level 7, and getting 7 out of the way and done is definitely a good thing, because 7's a fairly large dungeon. So getting it out of the way, getting the item out of that, and not having to go back for it is really, really good. Zygmunt now taking the any road, and looks like he's scrolling over to where the 100 secret normally is. So, I mean, I can definitely understand what he's doing here, but again, he's 1 screen away. He just needs to go to the other side. So the good thing here for Drakhatos is he's found level 2, which again is a nice item, and he has the keys to be able to explore it here, unlike Zygmunt earlier. So now, again, Zygmunt on the screen. No, go back to the... Oh, God! I also want to point out something you don't see too often is stairs in level 2. Drakhatos has found a segmented level 2. So I do kind of want to get a map up here for one of these, just to take, so you guys can take a look, see at what some of these shapes potentially look like. Another good thing to point out here is it appears that blue gorillas have got less HP than they normally do, because normally they have 5 hit points and would take 3 hits from the white sword to kill. Now, as you can see, there is only 2 slashes from the white sword, so that means, again, 3 or 4 hit points. The one good thing about level 2 here is that if there is a room in level 2, unless you're bombing down, it's the old man. If it's a room, it's guaranteed to bomb because all the rooms in levels 1, 2, and 3 are connected. So all of these bombs, it's definitely a good idea. Drakhatos is going to go ahead and pick up his 4th Triforce here, and it appears as if he's going to have to go back in and take out at the segment. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing, heading right back into 2. The absolute right call here, in my opinion, 2 being a very small dungeon. So Drakhatos here, continuing his look through level 2, hoping and praying he eventually finds the item that he's looking for. Although at this point, a map would also be a wonderful option for him, just so he knows where he has to bomb.
And there is that map. And we hold on.
Yeah, this is definitely the quite the shape here, and as we said, we have got we have got ourselves a shape here. So this is quite the interesting. And ew, that item not something he's looking for. Sees the magical boomerang, says, "Nope, nope, nope. I don't want any of your crap. Goodbye."
And interesting note that the magical boomerang is in its normal dungeon.
Yeah, I've noticed that tends to happen a lot. I mean, I've played enough Randomizer, I've seen it all, but recently, just based on recency bias, it feels like the magical boomerang has been in level 2 a lot more than normal. Zeekman now continuing up through Death Mountain, and he has now come across level 3. We found 2 hints about level 3, one of which saying level 3 housed the raft, which we know isn't true because that was in 7. The other one saying it housed the magic key, which could potentially be a thing. Yeah, unfortunately, without a sword or the bow and arrow, there's not a whole lot that Siegmund can do in 3. And again, unfortunately, taking yet another death to the overworld. At this point, I would imagine that the frustration of not having a weapon plus the constant dying has got to be weighing heavy on Siegmund here. And the frustration level is probably fairly high. The one good thing for us is that if we were to go over there and put up on the audio, the swearing would most likely be in French, so none of us would be able to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other big thing here is it feels to me that Siegmund is one-track minding right now, and he's so focused on trying to find the sword that he has forgotten that he has a way to deal with, a good portion of enemies, especially those in the Guerrilla dungeon sets, which he has found level 1 and level 2, which with dungeon enemies not being shuffled, he has both of them. The other unfortunate factor to that is, again, we having this information, there is a room in level 1 where if he just killed the keys, he would have had the white sword. And there we go, Siegmund finally getting back to the Armo screen, and he's finally going to get the wooden sword. 37 minutes into the race, he's got to be breathing a breath of relief at this point, and now he can go ahead and continue his path through all the dungeons he has already found. And it looks like he's immediately making a beeline back for level 1. Oh, this is going to be... he's going to be kicking himself when he kills that room of keys. Oh, dear God. If he kills this room of keys, he's going to be kicking himself right now. Oh, my. He's doing it. He's doing it. I know what I would be feeling if I saw this right now, and he's just got to be. I would be head desking right now, full on head banging on the desk. Yeah, I would probably be doing the same thing, honestly. Honestly, if that happened to me, I would probably go into full-on, crazy cackling man mode. That would definitely be me, because it would have broken. I would be broken at that point. And come and take a look at seeing the manhandle of threatens with the magic key. He's also seeing the manhandle of threatens with the raft, so he's now going to get the Ho-8's deceptive hints.
Yeah. I seem to have gotten out of sync. What's your time at?
All right, so here in level 1, both of them have found the floor item. They've also both know where the Triforce is, because it's pretty early on. At this point, we are only looking for the stairs item. And Drakhatos here, there's a couple items that he can definitely need. The biggest of those, of course, being the ladder. The ladder is going to unlock the recorder, which could potentially house some dungeons, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 10 potential recorder spots in second quest. And hey, look, there's a map, and well, level 1 just kind of looks like the number 1. Number 1, Number one. Number one. Or as our lovely host JamEvil likes to put it, a cactus. The level of troll that this level 1 has right now is hilarious. Level 1 held 2 items that could be doing damage, the wand and the sword. This is very, very funny to me, just because, again, the level of troll that's happening here. However, Ziegman now is making up some time, going ahead and finding the map here. So he's going to go ahead and come across the wand right now. And I can just imagine the reactions that are going to happen once he realizes, I had all these weapons I could have had all this time. But hey, 'tis the nature of Randomizer. Sometimes you just can't, things just don't go your way. It happens. And Ziegman now is going to go ahead and pick up his first Triforce, but he knows where a lot of dungeons are, so he can just go in and start getting Triforces. Unfortunately, we are going to be in a situation where he still has to do a lot of item hunting. We know that the Power Bracelet out of 6 is required. We know that the Raft out of 7 is not required. We know that the Magic Boomerang in 2 is never required.
Yeah. Panel just confirmed that Ziegman said that he feels like he's playing 30 minutes behind, which sounds about right, because it probably has been about half an hour since Drakhatos picked up the white sword. Not the wand, they both found the wand at around the same time, but
Yeah, but again, the thing with Randomizer is that just because someone looks like they have a lead at this point doesn't mean anything, because information is definitely strong. Ziegman has a lot of information. The other thing is levels can troll. People can take gambles and risks that they don't necessarily wouldn't take. So there is this race is far from over. Just because Drakhatos has the lead in Triforces does not mean this race is far from over. Level 9 could troll somebody. We've seen Level 9 do that. So again, this is one of those situations where, hey, just because it looks bleak doesn't mean anything.
And just to clear something up, yes, Drakhatos visited both raft spots. We do know that raft was not required.
The one good thing about this level 6 is it's got a plethora of keys. The bad thing, of course, for Ziegman here is it's Wizrobes, and no matter how well equipped you are, Wizrobes still suck. Case in point, that robe sucks. So we're going to go ahead and take care of the staircase in level 6. Ziegman is going to be, right out in next to the Triforce. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he chooses to go grab the Triforce or if he chooses to explore a little bit more in level 6. We know that, of course, very close, I believe the next room down is going to be the power bracelet he's looking for. And hey, oh no, there's a Goma. Bye Goma, hi Goma, go away. And yep, he is going to go down first. That's good. So he's going to go ahead and get the item here, and that's going to be nice for him. It's going to give him access to level 7, because we know it's power bracelet blocking. Very nice reverse cook as well by Zeke. Very, very nice.
Yes, so that'll make for a quick level 6, and before long, it could be a close race again.
Interesting option there from Drakhatos. Having 7 hearts feels like, hey, I'm happy with my 7 hearts. Goes ahead and picks up the potion, which is interesting because he's got the letter. So that tells me he's trying to save up money for the blue ring. And we're going to find level 3, which he can actually do something about because he now has a sword to take care of the Pole's Voice, which Pole's Voice without arrows are a pain. Luckily, this is a random HP enemy seed, and it looks like the Pole's Voice have a little bit less HP than they normally do. I'm going to get trapped in here in this room with the Gibdos. Now there's the option of up A, which is what he would do, and the option of trying to kill them. I would go ahead and up A just like he did there because the 3 hearts isn't worth the time.
Now Zygmun's into level 2, but he's likely going to be disappointed by the item in there.
Absolutely. He also is going to be disappointed with the fact that he doesn't have any bombs, so he's going to have to at least use 1 key to get himself to the Triforce. Thankfully, he can use the key to get there, but he is in desperate need of bombs right now. Oh my. That level 3 map.
Yeah.
That's something. I'm not sure what, but it's something.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out as well. It's...
Now, here's the thing:
looking at it from every angle, and
you know what it kind of looks like? It looks like a crab. If you take a look at the 2 front things underneath the dash, look like pincers. It's a crab.
That's what I was thinking also. It's easiest to see if you turn your head to the right so that the right side of the screen is instead at the top.
Now, I do want to point something out here to you guys. You'll notice that the Dark Nuts on Drakhatos' side look like Link. That's because he is playing as the Dark Nut sprite. So what's going to happen is the game is going to be like, hey, I've got a Dark Nut here. We have to use this Link sprite somewhere, so we're going to swap them. So by doing that, you're going to see some very interesting Link colors, especially depending on what people play as. My personal favorite is to play as the Moblin and to take a peek and to see the dark blue Moblin color palette on Link. It's very quite interesting. And we've got a heart container here for Drakhatos and the item, and it is the bow. So that is going to be very good for him. Bow is going to allow him when he goes back into level 5, which he can't without the ladder, to be able to kill the bunnies. So at this point, based on the information we know, ladder is either in level 4 or level 8. Those are the only ones that we haven't found yet. So at least we know where we're looking. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but with Ziegman opting to get the Triforce and run out of level 2, he's making a very, very smart decision. He doesn't know that it's the magic boomerang there. We know it's the magic boomerang. It's a good call for him to not continue searching. Looks like Drakhatos is trying to set up for a screen wrap here, but this screen is always a pain to try and wrap on, especially with Lionel's, but does go ahead and manage to get it just fine. He does have the, of course, the power bracelet, so he'll be able to check this screen. Bet you know that was a thing, did you?
I did not.
Yeah, and right now Ziegman is plowing through here pretty well, and he's making up a lot of time. He's only 2 Triforces behind. He does, in fact, have the power bracelet he needs as he's in level 7 right now, so he is chugging along quite well, not nearly as far behind as you would expect for someone who picked up the sword 42 minutes into the siege. And we have found level 4 on Drakhatos' side. They're going to be on screen A2 there. Again, we know that's a lie. Aquamantis does not await on Death Mountain. Aquamantis awaits by a river. More blue Wizrobes, of course, because we knew this was going to be a Wizrobe scene. And hey, we've got the map. So as long as we can get through the blue Landmolas, which unfortunately decided they like the taste of Darknut, we are not going to get to see level 4. At least not yet. Unfortunately, the Landmolas will be like, hey, yeah, you're going to blow us up? We ain't going to sit there and wait. Beautiful use of the candle there. It looks like the Landmola bodies are pretty easy to kill. So that's going to be nice. They're going to hit like a ton of bricks, but they're going to be pretty easy to kill overall. Drakhatos now just has to go ahead and kill one more of these little heads and he'll be fine. Oh, no, get sniped by the head! Yeah, the unfortunate thing about Landmolas in that room specifically is coming in from the left-hand side where they spawn. They can just do that and just be like, nope, yeah, you'll get nothing, you'll like it, good day, sir. Drakhatos does finally manage to take the Landmolas out, and all right, everybody, name that ink blot. That's just... Go ahead. I know you're all going to say it in chat, so just, we'll get it out of the way now. It's a cactus.
I was going to say it was a toilet.
But every time we've seen a map, the chat's been posting cactus, so I'm just going to play to the chat at this point. That is quite the interesting inkwell, though. We've seen quite a few large, lower level number dungeons. Level 3 and level 4 specifically have been fairly large, looking, all things considered.
Now, I've still been having a little trouble getting things synced. Is it at My time's at 55:07, 8, 9.
Yep, and right around at 55 minutes and 10 seconds here, we're going to have the magical key being acquired by Drakhatos, which tells us two things. One, the ladder is in level 8. Two, the ladder is not recorder blocked because the recorder is underneath or is on the ladder location. So there are, at this point, 3 locations left for level 8 can be. It can be the screen 1 to the right of level 4, 2 to the right of level 4, or it can be the Forgotten Cave. Unless there's a spot we're missing in level 5 that we can get into, those are the only spots level 8 can be, and there it is,
right next
there.
to level 4.
So here's the thing with level 8, is level 8 is going to have staircases, it's going to have a total of 4 staircases in the dungeon, unless it's segmented, but it's guaranteed to have 2 staircases that are linked, like that one, and then 2 item staircases. We're going to have to go ahead and take a look at both of them here. Oh, it's a triple segment!
Yeah, I think I'm a little ahead now.
Ooh, this is very interesting. A triple segmented level 8. So all of the stairs, and unfortunately for Siegmund dying all the way up in the northwest part of Death Mountain, that's gonna be a huge setback. And I do like this call that Drakhatos is doing right now. With just exploring the small little segment here really quickly, just taking a look and see if he's going to get anything from it. Now knowing he's not, he can go ahead and explore the other segments of level 8, not a problem.
Yeah, with the triple segmented dungeon, the early map was definitely convenient.
Putting the boomerang to good use there is Drakhatos picking up all of the rupees, and that tells me with him picking up the rupees, he's close enough to a blue ring shop here that he is going to try and desperately to get up to the 250 rupees so he can pick up that blue ring. And we've also got Siegmund now back up in Death Mountain, also in level 8. Unfortunately, walks right in, and unfortunately, not a fan of the bunny hop.
And Drakhatos has found these stairs to the 3rd segment. He's going to pass that up for now to finish up the segment he's in, and finds another staircase, and that is also a path. Now he's going to check that to see if that goes to the other segment. No, that just takes him to another part of this one.
Hey, and that's going to be a thing in segmented dungeons, is the fact that the extra staircases are going to hook up the segments. The regular staircase that links is still going to be there. So in this one, you're going to have segment, 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 staircase, staircase, staircase. So you're going to have a mess of staircases here. We're just going to go ahead and call level 8. This is one of those old 90s infomercials. This is for the Stairmaster. All we need now is a Suzanne Summers infomercial, and we'll be all set. No, wait, that's Thigh Master. What am I thinking? So compass is always a good thing, especially in a large dungeon like this. You know exactly where you need to go. The, again, unfortunate part for Drakhatos here is he knows, bar none, that he needs ladder. He also knows it's in here. So let's hope that we can go ahead and find it here. And, ooh, heart container. That is not what we were looking for. So at this point, we know that silver arrows are still a thing. They're out in the wind. We know that the book is still out in the wind, ladder is still out in the wind, and red ring is still out in the wind. If this were me playing at this point, I would be under the assumption that silver arrows and red ring were not shuffled, and that they are both in level 9. So I would be getting the ladder out of here, grabbing the Triforce, heading to level 5, grabbing the Triforce, and going. Now, that gives me a fairly decent chance of finding the silvers in 9 if they're required, and also the fact that Ganon potentially could not be required at all, so silvers might not be necessary.
And Drakhatos decides to pick up the other bomb upgrade, so perhaps he's not looking for blue ring after all.
I actually like the call of picking up the bomb upgrade here, because as you mentioned earlier, in shapes, bomb management and bomb walls are a huge, huge deal. So being able to have, 16 maximum bombs is freaking gantic.
And he decides to pick up the Triforce. And is he going to go back in?
He has to.
He has to.
And there, oh no, wow. Level 5 has the ladder? So there's got to be a bomb hole we missed in level 5. Because the 8 has the book, so level 5 has the ladder. This just became a very interesting development here. So level 5 was completable. They just didn't have the bombs to do it. Wow. Wow. So that, based on what we've seen, there's only one way to go, and that's bombing right out of that Dig Dogger room in level 5. Wow. Game, you're getting frisky. I like it.
Ooh, yeah. That would be, because that means that you have to go through a Dig Dogger room to get the ladder, even though the recorder is ladder blocked.
Right.
That would be something.
Yeah. All that means is that Dig Dogger isn't blocking the staircase. But it's still, you do have to go through the Dig Dogger room, which is pretty trolly. Having a horizontal river in it, I like it. Game, you're stepping your game up right now. I like it. So now Drakhatos is going to cover the same question we just had. So what's then? Wait, the book? What sorcery is this? Now the interesting part for Ziegman here is he still has level 4 and 3 and 7 to take care of. So he's not as shocked by that revelation. So anyway, for those of you who are wondering, the item recap is going to be as follows. Level 1 contained the white sword and the wand. Level 2, unfortunately, was the magical boomerang. Level 3 contained the bow. Level 4 was the magical key. Level 5, we know by process of elimination, is the ladder. Level 6 contained the power bracelet. Level 7 was the raft. Level 8, as you just saw, was the heart container and the book. Also by process of elimination, level 9 is the silvers and the red ring. The ladder item is the recorder. The Armos item was the regular old wooden boomerang. And the white sword item was the red candle. Now, the interesting part here about this being a race is we know what I'm about to say isn't actually a true statement, but considering the location of level 5, if this was me and I'm Drakhatos, I would be like, oh, crap. Ladder's been found for a while. This isn't good. That would be what's going through my head at this point. Ziegman there, nice. Unfortunately, that's not the place you want to block clip. You are still vulnerable in that you want to be in between the block if you're going to be killing blue Darknuts. The concept was great. It was the absolute thing you needed to do in that room. Just no, and there's the ladder finally being found an hour and 6 minutes in. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Good part about this so far, this has been a ladderless, a non-ladder required seed, and that's the thing people have to tend to forget here is ladder, while being an item that is definitely helpful and useful, it's not necessarily going to be required all the time. Having it is great, but I have seen seeds and I've played in seeds where it hasn't been a thing.
And there's the Triforce, so unless there's a ladder block in 9, this could be one of those seeds.
Absolutely, and as we've got Drakhatos making his way over 9, Ziegman is making his way through the rest of level 8. I'm going to go ahead and try and deal with this blue Darknut room again and just get the clock. All right, good. Clock is going to make this room, significantly easier. And by significantly easier, I mean, Dig Dogger cannot be in 9, 7, 8. Patra is the only enemy that can be in level 9 because Patra is the only mini boss that exists in that setup. We have an interesting level 9 option here, as you have the option to go up and right, which is not something you usually see. Usually it's up and left or up, left, and right. Right and up is a very interesting one. Yeah, and this was definitely a very interesting seed because Second Quest to Overworld was a thing, and Recorder was not required at all. So now the interesting thing happens is with Drakhatos in level 9, the fight becomes searching for silver arrows, searching for Zelda. So at this point, you're doing both. You're going down staircases and you're trying to hope that you run into Zelda. If Ganon is not required, then you can access Zelda's room through any normal means, which would be regular door, shutter door that opens to kill enemies, bomb wall, and key door. And oh, holy fairies, Batman! Keys dropping all kinds of items. Also of note right here, in the room that Drakhatos is currently in, he hears Ganon. And then immediately gets the hint telling him that, and we know that's not a deceptive hint. So that's going to be interesting. Ganon is either going to be to the south or to the west there. So we know where Ganon is. Pretty easy to get to Ganon right after start.
So he's got Ganon marked on his map. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely getting marked on the map. And Ziegman now has made his way into level 4. We know level 4 is going to get him the any key, which is nice. Again, unfortunately not what he's entirely looking for. He still wants the ladder as well, but any key is going to be nice. It's definitely going to help a bit later. And oh, Zelda right there. So we know where Zelda is, up in the upper northeast. So that means Ganon is required here. So now Drakhatos is on a hunt for the silver arrows. So that's going to be the big thing. Silver arrows and Ganon are required. And there they are, right next to Zelda. Are you
Whoa.
kidding me right now? This level 9 being all sorts of generous to Drakhatos. The arrow hunt, 2 rooms found. There it is, bada bing, bada boom. Let's go kill a pig.
That's Randomizer. Sometimes it can be a really swift 1 through 8, and 9 can just troll you for days. Sometimes level 9 can be simple.
Yeah, and this is one of those where level 9, it's actually fairly simple, all things considered, because it effectively takes you on the path you need to Ganon. Now, interesting. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Zelda, not Ganon. One other interesting thing, of course, is unfortunately you're not lucky enough to get the 0 HP Ganon, but that's definitely a thing that can happen. Instead, we're going to have to do the whole 8 stabs to kill Zelda. There we go. That's excellent way to finally pick up the stun lock there by Drakhatos. Nice. Yeah, that life went down fast. He's on green tunic, guys. So not a whole lot of anything there. And Ziegman in level 4 making short work of those blue Lanmolas as he gets the giant toilet chair map. Now Drakhatos, of course, killing Ganon and go right back to Zelda. He knows Zelda is simply a staircase away.
Or Ganon, rather.
Yes, because we're returning darkness to Hyrule because we're playing as the Dark Nut. And there's Zelda, or Ganon's door opening. Just going to have to make sure it doesn't die to the fire, and we're all set. One-way door, there we go. That's going to do it. Drakhatos is going to go ahead and save Ganon, and going to finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 50 seconds. And at the same time as Drakhatos is returning Ganon to the world of prominence, Ziegman is over returning the Lion's Key to the world of the light.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the Any Key, getting the Triforce. All things considered, a very quick level for Ziegman.
Ziegman has been doing fairly well in the dungeons. He just had that massive setback at the beginning where he couldn't find the wooden sword and wasn't willing to try level 1 with just his red candle, which could have gotten him an early white sword.
Right, and that's that right there. That one decision is really the decision that changed the course of this race, because Ziegman, once he had the sword, has been very, very efficient in clearing these dungeons so far. The ability to just go ahead and not have a sword and to focus heavily on the sword was definitely the thing. All right, so as we are waiting to get Drakhatos in here for a post-race interview, we have still got Siegmund making his way through Death Mountain, trudging on through the hailstorm of Lionel's sword beams to continue on the path to rescuing the princess and saving Hyrule from the darkness that is the King of the Garuda. Putting the power bracelet to use and finding, hey, look, it's a candle shop. Not gonna lie, right now I have the sound up with Drakhatos so I can listen for Ganon. I got the sound in my ears, and since we're on Jam's channel, I'm feeling the need to snap right now. I love it.
Hey there.
Hello, how are we doing?
Oh god, I'm so stressed.
So that seed, definitely a very interesting one here. What was your thoughts on not just necessarily the Wood Sword location, but more specifically, Second Quest Overworld?
Second Quest Overworld wasn't that much of a problem for me since I played a lot of Ultima settings, so I was used to it. But god, I was so annoyed because I don't know where the ladder was. I thought it was in level 8 because level 5 looked like I need the ladder for it, but yeah, that didn't seem like it.
Yeah, to be fair, we all thought the same thing, and then when it worked out funny because you and Siegmund were in level 8 at the same time, so you had already found the heart container, and then he had found the book like 30 seconds after that, and we were all thinking, oh, ladder's in 8, and the book shows up, we're like, what just happened?
And then the issue with bombs for some time, because nothing was dropping, I was in need of them, but well, worked out better than expected.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting thing and a fun thing to see these random percent flags and not knowing what you're getting going into it. I'm assuming you've done some practice here for the Swiss flags. Is there a particular flag that you like to see triggered when you're doing these races? Is there just one particular one you like to see above all others?
0 HP on Wizrobe, because Wizrobe's
I think that's going to be everybody's answer because I 100% agree with it as well. And before we continue on here, we still have got Siegmund making his way through the overworld. Looks like he's heading back towards level 7, which again is in the Desert Power Bracelet location. Gonna have to go and get the Triforce out of there. Luckily for us, we know anyway that it's the raft in there. And ooh, is he going back to 2 for the item?
Ooh, that would be a bad decision.
That's a very bad decision.
yeah, definitely.
One that makes sense though, because 2 is a small dungeon.
It makes sense if you've gone through all the rest of the dungeons and have all the Triforces, but considering we still have levels 3, 5, and 7 to do, I don't necessarily think it makes all of the sense because you still have dungeons with Triforces that you haven't explored yet. So if this was a case of looking for the ladder or the silver arrows or the bow or something, I agree with it. But having 3 dungeons with Triforces remaining, it's a bit of an iffy call.
Well, he might also think that he's ladder blocked out of any other dungeon. Has he found all the dungeons yet?
Yes, he does know where all the dungeons are. I mean, like the rest of us, he probably thinks he's ladder blocked out of level 5, and we thought that for, an hour into this race?
Yeah, and as it turned out, ladder really wasn't required in this seed at all.
All right, so with that, Drakhatos, back to this seed for a second. Was it interesting, just an interesting seed overall with the fact that all the enemies were the same in the dungeons they were normally supposed to be in? Is that make things easier knowing what you're getting as you go into each dungeon, or does it make things more difficult because crap, I'm guaranteed 3 Wizrobe dungeons?
Well, wrist ropes are always bothersome bunch, but I wasn't that much bothered by the fact, but it turned out better than expected. I was mostly worried about dying everywhere, but because besides a few times, it went pretty well in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree. All things considered, with the level of troll this seed definitely could have potentially been. You played it very, very well. And in hour 12, with Bo being buried deep in Death Mountain, Ladder being buried in a location where we thought it wasn't going to be. All things considered, hour 12, a very, very good time here. Definitely congratulations on winning your first round matchup, and we look forward to seeing you in round 2 of the Swiss next week when it starts.
Thank you.
So with that, we are continuing our path here through level 2, and we've got Ziegman, unfortunately, trying to get some more bombs off Dodongo, instead just feeding the very hungry Dodongo and killing him the quote-unquote normal way. And there is the blue boomerang, which he is going to go ahead and pick up. Went through all the way through level 2. Gonna go ahead and say, well, I made it all the way through here. I'm gonna pick up this horrible, horrible item. And I say horrible because it goes across the entire screen. It's hard to control. It really serves no purpose unless you're in a 0 HPC, and especially an hour and 21 minutes in. There's zero, I'm putting 0 up to my camera, which is off right now, 0 need to pick up that item.
And Ziegman's going to try level 7 next, which is, well, that's right, he still needs the Triforce out of 7, so that's not necessarily a bad decision, but he's not going to find the items he's looking for in here.
No, absolutely not. The other good thing about the item here in level 7 is it's the room directly to the right of the Triforce. So once he finds the Triforce, if he opts to explore a little more, he'll find the item, he'll find the raft, which at this point, he knows the raft isn't going to open up anything because he's found all of the dungeons. So at this point, he's looking for the bow, which we know is in level 3. He's looking for the ladder, which we know is, strangely enough, in level 5. The compass is definitely going to help him out here. And he's looking for the silver arrows, which we know are in level 9, right near Zelda, right below the staircase. So level 9, not going to be, it has the potential to be troll if the wrong turn is made. And, Dodongo again eating all of the bombs. Now, one thing of note here, for those of you who will be playing this at home, that room you see with the reverse C that Ziegman just entered, that particular room with that setup could never be a staircase because of the fact that there's a shutter door. And a shutter door and a staircase cannot exist in the same level. What can exist, though, is a bomb upgrade for Ziegman having just enough rupees to go take care of it. So he's going to perfectly refill his empty bomb count. That couldn't have come at a better time. Unfortunately, what could have come at a better time is taking the path through the Hungry Gorilla because he's got no bait and this isn't going to bomb up. And now the unfortunate realization is setting in that we have to go all the way back to the beginning and take the long and winding road down past level 7 to get the Triforce. It worked out good for him because he got the bomb upgrade. It's bad because, oh crap, that's a thing. The good news for Ziegman here in 7 is it's a pretty straightforward path to get back to where he needs to go. Having the compass is definitely going to illuminate the way. So he knows very easily, just down, right, up, down, A, B, start, select, left, right, something like that. And he'll eventually make his way to the Triforce. And there is going to be the item room here in level 7. Beautiful block clip there from Ziegman. Unfortunately, the block clip's only going to get him the logs. Log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood. Log, it's better than bad, it's good. Hey! Bonus points if you get that reference. Yep, everybody wants log. So with that, we are done with level 7, and now we have 2 options left. We've got level 5 and level 3. More than likely, Ziegman is going to go to 3 first, thinking that the ladder is in 3 and the bow is in 5. He's going to be really surprised when he gets to 3 and finds the bow. All right, Edgy. Everything in Zelda Randomizer, there is different types of flags. And each flag in this setup, the randomizer, can be turned on or off. So if I pull up my Zelda Randomizer and I go to Dungeons here, Dungeon Items, specifically Dungeon Items, shuffle Dungeon Drops, Red Ring Silver Arrows, White Sword, Ladder Heart Bracelet, and the Dungeon Items. Dungeons, shuffle Dungeon Rooms, Force the Ganon Fight, shuffle the Dungeon Text, the Start Room, the Palettes. There's a bunch of stuff that they can do. One of the things that they can do is they can allow Triforces to be whether they're in their normal room or not. So in this case, the Triforces being in their normal room is turned on. So that is why it's not going to be a thing. Now the thing is, rooms are shuffled between dungeons, which is, it's a thing because we saw Zelda's room in level 2. Unfortunately, we've got a situation where the Triforces just ended up in their own room. And it happens. And that's a great thing because as soon as you find the compass, there's nothing you have to kill to get the Triforce in whatever room it's in. So interesting bit of pathing here for Ziegman, as it appears he's opting to go back to level 3 via the Dead Woods, which, he thinks the ladder's going to be in there because him, like all of us, guaranteed, thought level 5 was going to be ladder blocked. So when he gets the bow, it's going to be one of those, again, head desk moments. Ooh, can't quite sneak out from the Lionels, the tree trunk not being a cooperative, and Ziegman taking another unfortunate death, that time on the screen he needed to be on. Ugh.
Looks like he's taking a different route this time.
Yeah, this route's going to be slightly faster. He's going to go up and take the quick path up here, like you're walking from level 1 to level 9 in the vanilla section. It's also going to allow him to potentially be able to avoid. I know it looks like he's clipping here past the forgotten spot here, so never mind. Just taking a slightly different path this way. I think this is slightly faster. I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to get up to level 3 the same way just fine. Very nice use of screen wrapping to get back to level 3. And now we are going to go ahead and finish our way throughout level 3, which we saw earlier when the map was gotten. This was a pretty strange and, more importantly, pretty big dungeon. Trick here, when fighting the Pole's Voice with a sword and, in this case, wand, try and stab them from the left, the right, or from below. You really don't want to try and stab them from above because that's where their sprite goes. They jump up, and as you can see there from Ziegman, it's pretty easy to get hit by them if you are stabbing them from above. Sometimes you don't have an option, but if you do, try and stab them from a location that's not directly above them. The one good thing for Ziegman here is he now knows that the bow and the ladder are the last two items he's going to find in the dungeons here in the overworld. So he knows for a fact that silvers are 9, that now he sees the bow here in 3. He knows that he wasn't ladder blocked in 5. He's going to be able to go do that as well. And the reason we say that is if you guys see all of the items there on the bottom tracker for you, we've got the recorder, the ladder, the bracelet, the bow, the raft, and the arrows. Aside from the arrows, the other 5 items there, the bow, the recorder, the power bracelet, the ladder, and the raft, those are all going to be found in Hyrule proper or in a dungeon. Those cannot be in level 9 because you potentially could need those to access a dungeon or get an item out of that dungeon. So they will never be in level 9 in this particular set of flags.
So yeah, there's another example. You were saying that that 3 had been a fairly large dungeon, but it looked like on Ziegman's map it was just a straight line on his mini-map. It was actually a very small dungeon as far as getting everything out of it.
We're going to go ahead and with 12 hearts, going to go ahead and pick up the magic sword, which, hey, not a bad call. It's going to increase your damage by a multiple of 2. Always a great idea. Especially that close to start.
Yes, that's another thing. The white sword item and the magical sword, the requirements can be shuffled. So the white sword can be anywhere from 4 to 6 hearts. The magical sword can be anywhere from 10 to 14. Now, no one tried to get the magical sword with anything other than 12 right here, but it's possible that those were not shuffled here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not sure, going with 12 is always a good option because you're going to have a higher chance of getting the sword at 12 hearts than any other heart number that you would find, simply because if that flag is turned off, 12 hearts is going to guarantee you it. And while we are waiting for Ziegman to go ahead and continue his quest through level 5, I want to remind everybody that we have got plenty more round 1 races for this tournament coming up here throughout the next couple of days. You've got 2 more races coming up here tonight, right here on twitch.tv/JamEvil. At 7 p.m. Eastern, we have got Johann Howitzer taking on Crimson Avix. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, we've got Fred Coughlin, the creator of the randomizer, taking on Dr. J, PhD. Then we've got, from what I'm seeing, 4 more races on Saturday, 3 of which you can find right here on JamEvil's channel. The first race is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern, and that's going to be Vonky taking on myself right here on Jam's channel. Then there's a 4 p.m. race between Truant Gamer and Viknin, a 9:30 p.m. Eastern race between Zardia and Amazing Toaster, and an 11 p.m. race between Zeb Gedney and Bent Glass Tube. That is the current schedule of races coming up for the next couple of days. And as you can see, JamEvil has a calendar for you ready to go. Speaking of ready to go, during my whole dissertation there on upcoming matches, Ziegman went to level 5, found the bomb hole, found the ladder, found the Triforce, and is now on his way to level 9. All right, so again, what we know here is we know that this level 9 is pretty straightforward. You go up, up, left, left. You'll get Ganon, and then you'll have to figure out if Ganon is required or not, which we know, again, Ganon is in fact required. With that, then you take that staircase that you find. It's a pretty overall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's a 13-room 9 if you do it right. 14-room 9, excuse me, if you do it right. All right, so there is Ganon's roar. So now going into this room, Siegmund's going to know that Ganon is below him. So that is going to be good. And now it's just going to be a matter of finding Zelda and figuring out whether or not Ganon's required. Again, we know Ganon is in fact required. Interesting note here.
There's the hint as to Ganon's location.
Which is hilariously trolling considering you just heard it. Those are my favorite hints to
you
get.
Apparently can only get into that room by passing through the room from where you can hear it.
The one thing about this 9 here is it kind of forces you in one direction. And no, that's not the British pop band. Please don't go there. But it does force you to go in a very specific direction here, as a lot of the bomb walls aren't actually opening up. So that's what makes this 9 a fairly quick one, all things considered. Wow, learn to talk, please, TGE. And this staircase is going to take Siegmund up to the north part. Now, it's a very interesting concept here because if he goes right, he'll find Zelda. If he goes down, he'll find the silver arrow. So either way, he's going to be correct in where he goes. Opting to go south first, so he's going to get the silver arrows first, which is going to be huge. And now, the big thing here is as he go back to kill Ganon. I think he would. I would, if I got the stairs before I found Zelda, knowing where Ganon is, I would probably take those stairs back and go back and kill him, just because now I know any shutter door I come across has the potential of opening. And that's exactly what he's choosing to do.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, TG. If you know that you can kill Ganon and you know where he is, there's really no reason to gamble on him not being necessary.
All right, so the one thing that he's going to have to be careful of here initially is he only has 3 hearts, which means a high roll driver, as we just saw, is going to take him out. The thing I was going to say is he has 2 potions, so he should probably pop one of those before he goes to try and dance with the devil. And there we go. Going to go ahead and pop the potion now before entering Ganon's room. And now we're going to have a full heart fight against Ganon. Now, the one thing is we saw Drakhatos doing this with the white sword, so it was 8 hits. With the magical sword, it's only going to be 4. Now we're going to get a couple stabs. Doesn't look like we're going to get the stun lock here. The interesting thing about fighting Ganon is if you don't know his pattern, he tends to move around in a bit of a figure 8 pattern. So there we go. There's going to be the 4 hit
There
kill.
it is, and
Yeah.
Ooh, but he decides to leave Ganon's room to the south. He does not know where Zelda is. He does not know that he was only 2 rooms away, or which is, say, 1 room away from the shutter door when he took that staircase.
Yeah, but that's again the nature of the randomizer, just a matter of where you go. Drakhatos took the correct turns and had a very short, easy level 9. When Siegmund decided to go ahead and go south, he found the silver arrows, which is great. Unfortunately, it deprived him of the information that Zelda was right where he was. So at this point, the best thing that can happen to him is finding the compass. The other thing, of course, is he doesn't know if Ganon was required. So Zelda could still be behind a room that has a shutter door that doesn't open. And Patra still as obnoxious and annoying as ever. So we're going to go ahead and continue our exploration through level 9 here. Looks like the path is going to be blocked off here. The only option now for Siegmund is to go to the right. I don't know why he's killing these wizrobes unless he's hoping they're going to drop a compass. Again, blue wizrobes, not, case in point right there, not what you want to be fighting right now.
Correct. And now we'll see where he decides to go next. Looks like he's going to head back to Ganon's room.
And the thing is, there were 4 exits from Ganon's room, so the option is there for him to go out of there. The problem is, of course, again, we know where Zelda is, so it's very hard for us to remain unbiased, like, hey, dude, no, you're going the wrong way, when we know it. The catch is, I understand where he's coming from, because 9 is such a huge dungeon, and you have all of these options. I understand the call here.
Mm-hmm. And as I expected, he's going to try going west now from Ganon's room. Ooh, fairy.
Unfortunately, focusing more on killing the gels than the fairy, so he's just going to have to settle for the heart and not for the 3 hearts that getting the massage from the fairy would have given him. And he's now right back where he started, because this was the Patra room.
Yeah, so... And he's going to have to head into that wizrobe room again. I'm a little surprised he didn't even try bombing up out of that room. Oh, and it looks like he's going to try that now.
Yes,
it does not work.
I'm surprised he went back here initially. I mean, like I said, I can understand the thought process behind doing it, but this puts you in a corner where you only have a couple of paths to go. The way you want to necessarily explore 9 is to utilize as many branching paths as possible. Putting yourself down in this corner doesn't give you a lot of pathing.
But it seems he has reached a dead end. It looks like the only way he can go now, unless I missed a path, it looks like the only way he can go now is to take the stairs again.
That's the same thing I'm thinking. I mean, unless you can bomb up from a couple of rooms here, which he so far has not been able to do, we are definitely looking at a fairly linear 9.
Yeah, looks like that one staircase is almost... Oh, no, there was one other staircase, I think, in this section that he didn't take. For the most part, that one staircase leads to the greater part of 9, but it just happens that the only things you need are, like, right out of the staircase. And now he's going to go east, and he's going to find...
a deceptive hint, because we know Zelda is not in the northwest of Skull. The problem is going to be, after an hour and 46 in, is he going to believe what the game is telling him?
Wait, that's right. This is the other staircase. He's not in the correct section.
And we're going to find, yeah, oh, and hey, look, there's the map. So 9 looks like, 9 usually tends to just look like a big old pile of Swiss cheese. And it's no different here on this map. Map is definitely good for one reason. In 9, you know where to bomb. That location is actually really good, all things considered, because it's going to put him in the general vicinity of Zelda. The problem is going to be Zelda's in the room right above him. We know he can't bomb into that. Looks like he's opting to go, and if all he's going to do is go up from here a couple rooms and he'll be good. Please let him bail the bomb up. Please. Stop trying to dance with Wizrobes. There's no reason to.
He's going to use his other potion.
Which is the absolutely correct call to do here. You don't want to die at this point. But this is one of the situations where you have to know that you already have got your drop in this room, and all you have to do is bomb. So the easiest thing to do here is just to try and bomb your way out of things, and if you don't have to dance with the Wizrobes, don't. Oh, bomb up. Here we are, the bomb up. We're good. We're good. He's all set.
Yep. And that will do it. And he's
Did he not notice it? He didn't notice it.
No, he didn't.
What? What?
Why? Or perhaps, yeah, he didn't notice that the door opened, and perhaps he's trusting the hint, since the Ganon hint was truthful.
Yeah, that's the only thing, is he has to be trusting the hint. Wow, and this is the power of deceptive hints.
Yeah, so in all likelihood, this could end up, I know it's early to say that, but this could very well end up a full clear. He went right past the one room off in the corner there. That probably will be the last place he checks. Well, of course it'll be the last place he checks, because once he checks there, he'll done, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, I know exactly what you meant there. Yeah, no, because of the deceptive hints and being at this for an hour and 50 minutes, the frustration with the wooden sword, I guarantee Zeke forgot this was deceptive hints and just got suckered into the hint, not realizing that he walked into where Zelda was. Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, there's only so many more places he can go.
I'm a little surprised he isn't taking stairs at this point, because he does seem to have hit dead ends in almost every direction.
Yeah, no, this is very interesting. The problem is he's still fixated, I guarantee fixated on the hint about being in the Northwest. So he's trying to get himself over to the Northwest, which is going to be L, E, V, and E, the top four squares. And he says, so that's exactly where he is in. He is focusing heavily on that hint. And this, telling the silver lies elsewhere when he knows that he got the silver here, that should trigger a flag, in theory, saying, oh, wait, this is bad. And yeah, and not defaulting, because I've done the same thing. I've done enough of these seeds where you get so focused on something, you get so focused on something that you forget what you're actually doing. I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to me.
Oh, well, in some ways it happened to him earlier this seed. He just kept focusing on where the wooden sword could be. And there's a Wizrobe beam.
Honestly, probably the best thing that could have happened right there, because it's going to force him to go back up to that top corner. And if he does do that, hopefully he realizes that, hey, there's the cheddar door opening. So the death, not necessarily a bad thing if it allows him to realize what he missed.
It won't necessarily force him into that room, because if he remembers that where the door that took him right to the Silver Arrows was, he'll take that staircase, and then, since he apparently ruled out that room just to the east of there, he'll probably just go south right away.
Yeah, no, and I agree. That's probably the mindset he is. Again, he is 100% focused on kidnapped weights in northwest of Skull. Yep, and there's the going down.
There. Yeah. Yeah, looking at his mini-map, he's probably going to try to get a little further south, and...
Yeah, he, at this point, based on his mini-map in the northwest hint, he is thinking that Zelda, and hey, look, there's the red ring where he's not going to pass up. He's thinking that Zelda is in that, if you take a look at the first L column, the fourth blue square down, that fourth room from the top, he's thinking that's where Zelda is, because that's the only spot left in the northwest, excuse me.
Was that the only one? I thought he hadn't cleared much of that fourth row.
Might be the whole fourth column, that's where he's going for in general.
Yeah, that's what I figured also. Yeah, he's still got a couple of rooms there. The one in the L column and the one in the E column. The first E column. Oh, well, there isn't one in the second E column in the fourth row.
Yeah, no, this has been a very interesting, because, again, this is what happens with deceptive hints, and with everything being randomized, you never quite know what you're going to get. But this is just a case of, I just want to finish, and just, everything being awful.
Okay, made quick work of those Wizrobes.
Interesting thing here, he seems to be reluctant to use the candle every time he keeps getting hit by the bubble.
I'm surprised he hasn't switched to wand. I mean,
or silver
these
arrows.
Enemies you could just wand.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, he really seems frazzled here.
It definitely feels like it. So since we've seen both items, we know the staircase is going to take him somewhere. I'm hoping it takes him back to where he needs to be. Unfortunately, it doesn't.
I was going to say, I don't think it can. We've already seen that whole area. We know which staircases take him over there.
Yeah, but now he's making his way back to the correct, at least the correct portion of the dungeon. I don't know where he's going to go from here. It looks like he's going down.
Yep, I figured that's the... Other than that one room where Zelda actually is, he's cleared most of the northeast. That's probably not a high priority for him.
Yeah, at this point, the thing he needs is the compass more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but he is... Oh, maybe he is going to find it after all. Yeah. Has gone over there. Yes, there he is.
Finally realizing what the issue was. There is Zelda. And a huge sigh of relief as the princess has been saved. Just a whole lot of...
Yeah, that was a long 9.
Yeah, that was definitely a long and arduous task to get through that 9, especially when you get, you get yourself so single-minded focused, and you're just like, don't bother to think of all the other options. So, one second. We're just seeing real quick if Ziegman's going to come in here for some post-race comments or not. If he does, we'll go ahead and take care of that interview beforehand. If not, then again, I do want to remind everybody that there is the calendar of events coming up here and what races are coming up for the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament.